Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's Crypto Blast. It is Tuesday, the 22nd of April. And as usual, myself, Ryan Paisley, and of course, Cam O'Connor from Institutional Fi will be giving a rapid roundup of the latest pricing flows and market moving news in crypto markets. But before he does, well, I say he, before Cam does, I'll get the legals out of the way. So, as usual, nothing discussed on this spaces session constitute trading or investment advice or infers any kind of endorsement by PIQ, Institutional Fi, or the hosts, which, as you know by now, is myself, Ryan Paisley, and of course, Cam O'Connor. Cam, hello.
Hello, that was a very long hello.
Well, I felt you deserved it.
Oh, that's very kind of you. The extra O is for you, Cameron.
Hello.
I'm
Um,
okay. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm very good. I'm back in the swing of things. Obviously, a long weekend for us work shy Europeans. But yeah, let's get back at it. So, what's been occurring in crypto markets?
Yeah, no, I've personally enjoyed it. It was very nice. The weather wasn't terrible either, so that does make a little bit of a difference.
That always helps.
Um,
Yeah, indeed.
it does indeed. I'm looking forward to my pool's opening next week, so that's going to be fun.
Oh,
Um, Hopefully the sun will come out a little bit. Right, let's jump into the crypto markets. Right, it's actually been really positive over the last four
oh,
days for
jinxed
Bitcoin.
it.
So, yeah, well, I said over the last 4 days, not looking into the future. Let's stop there. Don't blame any bad price action on me, please. No. Right, so Bitcoin remains really strong with its dominance in the digital asset market, reaching around 64.6%. Now, these are levels that have not been seen since 2021. So Bitcoin's dominance continuing to shoot up higher. Now, this falls in with the dollar index continuing to fall and gold rallying. Bitcoin managed to find support last week around the 83K spot, which is what we talked about last week, really, is that
Yeah,
we were seeing quite a lot of demand come in, step into play now. This is met with this strength was met with long-term supply of Bitcoin around 63% and not moving in the last year. So, and we started to see these wallets start accumulating last week again. So again, this just ties in with the factor where we started to see that real strong support come in for Bitcoin. If you like technical analysis using an anchored volume weighted profile on Bitcoin going in from the lows of the last couple of months, you can notice that a massive volume shelf actually picked up over last week and is fully extended now, and we start to catch a bit off of those lows. So if you do trade using that indicator, that's that metric. The next gap up is around $93,000. So yeah, a little bit of room for a liquidity overhead. So we could catch a little further bid. I think it was around 12% if you calculate it from the lows of last week to where the next gap up on that is. So once gold starts to slow down, in my opinion, we're going to start to see a little bit of tailwind into BTC because Bitcoin's been really strong, especially when you look at the broader markets into stocks and the other digital assets. Bitcoin has been really, really strong, but it's in comparison, it's not really in comparison to gold. Gold's been absolutely on a
yeah,
massive tear. Obviously, higher liquidity, higher volume of trading. But don't get me wrong, Bitcoin has performed really, really well. But so as soon as we start to get that slowdown in gold, I would expect this comes in and catches Bitcoin with a nice surprise of a higher rally. But again, this is just my opinion and remains to be seen. Bitcoin is currently trading at $88,600, up 6% from the weekend's lows. So if we look across to Ethereum, Ethereum is still lagging in terms of outperformance. And as we go through the week, we'll cover some news stories that will be accounting for some of the reasons that we could expect price suppression as investors are left confused as to what the future roadmap for the Ethereum Foundation will be. Ethereum is currently trading at $1,629, up 6% on the day, but this comes in as ETH made a new 7-day low today. So volatility on Ethereum still remains extremely elevated, especially when we compare this to Bitcoin. Moving down the market cap list in no particular order, Solana is trading at $140, XRP at $2.10, BNB at $605. Finally managed to break back above the $600 mark, and PaxG, along with gold, made a new all-time high at $3,500 and $520. So PaxG keeping nicely in line with spot gold. Moving over to the flows from yesterday for the Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs. Bitcoin saw positive flows of $381 million yesterday. Note this is the highest since January, and Ethereum continued to see net outflows totaling $25 million. So that's kind of our market recap over the long weekend and over the last 24 hours. Moving into news, you may have missed Circle Payments Network was announced by Circle. I don't think that needed to be said. CPN is its nickname. It was announced on the 21st of April, so yesterday. This leverages USDC and the EURC stablecoins to enable 24/7 real-time global settlements. This is
Oh,
addressing the inefficiencies of traditional cross-border payments, which often take days and incur high fees. According to a 2023 report from McKinsey, it estimated that global cross-border payments cost around $190 billion annually. So this will look to greatly reduce those costs.
I suppose this is
CPN,
also one.
go on.
This is kind of another way, like another tentacle into TradFi and market settlement, and I guess this is also kind of side eyeing at custodian banks that that do these big settlement procedures and stuff like that. So I guess finally we start having real world use cases for this kind of stuff, which can only be a positive in the longer term, you would imagine.
Absolutely. And as our conversation has been since we started the crypto blast, it's stablecoins. These are the infrastructures that
Yeah,
are going to bring in the liquidity. We're not talking about where does this flow off into. It's just simply, merging traditional finance with digital finance and looking to squash. I think really what we're going to be looking through over the next couple of years, these fees that have been quite high in these settlement days, they're going to shrink down from days to seconds and from seconds to milliseconds. I think this is where
oh
we're going. And these, I think honestly, I've looked at some of these tech, especially from Algorand Foundation. They're shrinking from seconds to milliseconds quicker and quicker. So if all is well, and especially with people like ICE Markets and
yeah.
CME, if they can adopt these use cases and they're finding actually this is beneficial, these margins are going to get tighter and tighter, and timing is just going to be, more than the human can handle. I think it's going to be heavily reliant on all
They're gonna
computers
be
and
settling trades before I've placed them.
exactly. They're going to go. Actually, Ryan's about to bid some oil here. We're going to do it for him.
Well, if they can tell me if it's a winner or a loser, I'll be happy.
Yeah, if it's a loser, I'm not going to take that trade. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly that.
So further on to what you were saying, Ryan, CPN targets banks and fintechs, so supporting use cases like remittance and payroll, and has over 20 design partners, including dLocal and WorldRemit, signaling strong industry backing. Circle's USDC already processes $1.5 trillion in annualized transactions, as per Circle's 2024 Q4 report, and leading into their IPO. So this launch positions Circle as a direct competitor to Ripple's ODL and traditional networks like Visa, challenging their dominance in a market where blockchain-based payments are growing. So there's a few forecasts out there from Gartner that predict 20% of global payments will be using blockchain by 2026. So that is literally just a year away. Coinbase officially listed its XRP futures on its US derivatives exchange. Bear with me for 2 seconds.
Oh, what's going on? Dum dum. Dum. I could tell some dirty
Dun, dun,
jokes,
dun.
but we'll get kicked off.
Sorry, I was just getting a phone call and I didn't want it to interrupt while I was talking. Right, I'm back. Here we go. So Grayscale launches decentralized AI fund for accredited investors targeting AI and crypto. Moving on, Galaxy Digital moved $105 million in ETH to Binance, and then shortly after that withdrew around $98 million in Sol. So they essentially just made a large swap, and either took profit or paid some massive fees in the meantime. But they moved $105 million of ETH and took out $98 million in Solana this morning. So according to an official announcement from Binance, they've started requiring all users in India to re-verify their identities using KYC to comply with the AML regulations in India. So that's anti-money laundering. Both new and existing users are required to undergo KYC re-verification. I think it's quite interesting news coming out of India, especially with Binance, because it does look like in the macro scheme of things, India is set to benefit quite nicely from all
Yeah.
the tariffs increased on China. So again, when we were talking about Binance so much, trying to get their fingers in the US, maybe I should rephrase that. So calm down there, Cameron. Um, maybe that they're targeting India as well and just trying to get on their good side to again benefit from all these partnerships and growing relationships and
Yeah.
trying to benefit of any potential deals. But yeah, if you're a Binance user and you live in India, just know that you'll have KYC re-compliance soon.
Well, and the thing is, in like jokes aside, I think it does definitely feel like Binance are making lots of moves at a governmental level. What's that? Pakistan, India. There's some other countries as well that are dealing with it. Yeah, whether or not this is all tied to CZ, just trying to make sure he's kind of like in all government good books, so he's not going to get arrested again. Because as we keep saying, he is a felon. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the ulterior motive is here.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on from that one, the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, literally the BIS, released a report saying that cryptocurrencies and DeFi, so that's decentralized finance, have reached a critical mass and have begun to pose potential risks to the traditional financial system, which may exacerbate the gap between the rich and the poor. It is recommended to promote DeFi to include KYC, information disclosures, and other compliance frameworks. This is just common sense, in my opinion. Yeah, AMLs and KYC, it's to do with any system where money can be transferred from either peer to peer and cross borders. It just makes sense. I get it with the whole DeFi system. You can float around it with anonymity. It's great to a
Yeah,
certain degree, but in terms of being regulated, there's no chance unless you're going
this is it.
fully backing with this KYC and
Yeah.
AMLs.
Yeah, no, and like we said, yeah, it's great that it can be anonymous, but unfortunately, uh, crypto has lost well, for now at least, it's lost its rights to having no KYC and no AML because it's just been misused, right? And if you want it to be adopted, which everyone does, you're going to have to play game because unfortunately, the kids making decisions at the moment, or the kids involved at the moment, can't be trusted. So, it's their own fault, really.
Yeah, how many meme coins are they buying?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Um, right, moving on. So this is some news regarding Ethereum. Vitalik Buterin has proposed a long-term plan on the Ethereum Magicians Forum. Again, guys, if you want to be taken seriously, maybe
Yeah,
don't post
right.
on something called a Magicians Forum.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Vitalik was posting on the Ethereum Magicians Forum to replace the current EVM bytecode with an open source RISC-V architecture in order to significantly improve the scalability of Ethereum's execution layer. So he noted that legacy and RISC-V contracts would remain fully inoperable and suggested building an interpartner to convert EVM contracts into RISC-V equivalents. So the Uniswap founder, Hayden Adams, he commented and weighing in on this, and he said that the Ethereum scaling debate, saying that Ethereum ultimately relies on layer 2 to support DeFi, Solana, and Solana may have a stronger roadmap team and scaling model. He urged Ethereum should stick to its roll-up centric layer 2 scaling strategy that it's pursued and developed over the last 5 years. And again, this is where criticism comes into the communities for consistently shifting narratives with their roadmap unclear. And this is just adding and acquainting to investor scarcity because they're just not sure where Ethereum's going and only taking a little peek at Bitcoin's performance against the top 5 or top 10 if you want to go out that far peers. It's really wailing and they're losing a lot of market cap to its competitors and they keep changing ideas. It's not very
You need some,
beneficial. We've
yeah,
got
you need to build some consistency, right? You need to kind of like think of a strategy and kind of stick to it to gain that kind of support.
Yeah, exactly. And it did have that just a few years ago even. It had a lot of support, but now the future's unclear and we're seeing it in its price, and I think that's scaring off potential investors. So until they get this on track, and hopefully we'll have a few more stories over the next coming weeks where we can kind of start to see them putting together a proper framework for the
Yeah,
next few years.
that makes sense.
So, our listeners might remember the Bybit hack, where they were hacked for a total of $1.4 billion, which actually made it the world's largest hack or stolen funds ever in history. So Bybit announced basically a little report, and I thought it'd be nice to read that report out. So total hacked funds in equivalent of USD totaled $1.4 billion, around 500k Ethereum. It's 98.5% remains traceable, with 27% have gone dark, 3.8% have been frozen. So they've been able to freeze a little bit of the ETH supply, totaling 3.8%, but with 20%, over 27% of that 1.4, obviously it was around $1 billion in ETH. It's a shame they've been able to manage to make those funds go dark, but there's still over 68% that remains traceable on chain. So they've still yet to filter that out. So potential there for those funds to be recovered slash frozen. So this is interesting. We mentioned with the Bitcoin spot ETF products that they saw the largest inflows since January. Um, Again, going in line with what we mentioned at the beginning of this spaces, where investor confidence seems to be creeping back up with Bitcoin, especially keeping up with the likes of gold, despite the economic uncertainties. So we kind of hinted toward this earlier. Algorand's Foundation's post on X yesterday announced that it's instantly I can't pronounce this at all. Instant finality transactions. I don't know why it's a tongue twister, but it took me a second to get my head across that. Was so announced its instant finality transactions confirmed and irreversible in seconds, demonstrated via a grocery checkout scenario. They basically went to in-store and managed to make these settlements. So unlike other blockchains with delays, minutes to hours, Algorand's tech ensures real-time settlement, critical for high-frequency trading as well, where a simple second could cost you millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it managed to make these, bring out this technology, make it live, and it's been working so far. It powers efficient cross-border payments, and I'm going to butcher this one, pronouncing this as well. Hazard Pay in Afghanistan adopted it as well, and apparently it's boosted the local economy as per the LSE studies.
Oh, so it actually
So
has, right? This isn't a joke.
yeah, no, it
Okay,
actually
fair enough.
has. Yeah, so they're making a lot of moves over in the Middle East and putting in this technology into the actual real use case, and it's working, which is
Oh,
the
top
bonus there.
banana. Again, another real world case. So that's two in one show. So that's good.
Yeah. So Algorand scalability and partnerships, Circle and Mastercard positioning itself as a secure, fast solution for institutional adoption in finance, the gaming sector, and e-commerce. Which, again, reaching out into the gaming sector is not something we'd necessarily talk about, but there is a lot of money there, and there's a lot of money to be made. So using these instant transaction settlement times into the gaming ecosystem can, you're just thinking about the potential use cases for that going forward.
Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely.
BitHub, which is a South Korean exchange, announced a spin-off non-exchange business entitled BitHub A to prepare for IPO. So further details around BitHub's is primarily targeting an initial public offering on South Korea's stock exchange, specifically the KOSPI and the KOSDAQ, with Samsung Securities as the lead underwriter. Additionally, the company is exploring the possibility of listing on the Nasdaq in the United States to expand its global presence. No final decision has been confirmed regarding the exact exchange for IPO. I doubt it's going to be the UK, unfortunately. There's no chatter about
Don't
that.
blame them.
Don't blame them. Again, we've mentioned
Unfortunately, like, it pains me to say it,
it.
but yeah, unfortunately.
And our final story of the day, I've just quickly added this one in because I just got sent it. XRP Ledger devs and projects, if you use XRPL JS library, don't update or use any version that is 4.2.1 or higher, it's compromised apparently. Any
Oof.
project utilizing the newest version of XRPL JS is putting users and funds at risk. So a little warning there if you're an XRP Ledger dev.
Oh, well, good to know. Good to know. Awesome. Well, Cam, thank you so much. I think maybe not right now, but later on today, we'll be announcing our first major interview that you are doing with some. Well, we won't spoil it just yet, but yeah, there's one of the things that Cam's going to start doing is these major interviews with big names in the industry. So something to look forward to. But Cam, thank you so much. Obviously, after a long weekend, yeah, and listeners, especially you guys, because we know nearly all of you play this back after the live recording. And to be honest, I don't blame you, because can't force you to tune in when we go live. But guys, take care, whatever you're doing. If you are trading today, keep it tight, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you then.